What's up guys, Mike here. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who participated in the poll that I posted on YouTube. About 35 of you saw it and voted, and I really appreciate that feedback. It seems like what you guys want to see more of are system reviews, followed by more obscure games, and then tutorials, which I will be incorporating into future videos on the channel. I just wanted to let you know I am working on something really exciting right now. I can't say too much because I haven't got it 100% confirmed, but it's a really cool opportunity that I couldn't pass up, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm sorry I'm being vague, but hopefully everything will be confirmed by next week and I can let you know more. With that out of the way, I want to talk about a system I haven't highlighted too much on the channel, and that's the Nintendo Gamecube. The Gamecube came out around a time when I was getting ready to go off to college, and I stopped playing video games entirely as I was concentrating on school and other stuff. I also missed out on the original Xbox at this time. But anyway, many years later I got my first Gamecube and I was immediately sold on it from the design and handful of games I managed to get my hands on. Some of the most iconic games from the Gamecube library still hold up very well today and are a blast to sit down and play. Some of my favorites are Gotcha Force, Viewtiful Joe,
Captain Blue fights with every ounce of his being. He fights.
Cubivore, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, and Ribbit King. In the years since I got my Gamecube, I've upgraded to an HDMI-enabled console for better picture quality, and I've acquired even more games. But if you're just now starting to get into the Gamecube, collecting for it has become sort of ridiculous, as prices for games have gone through the roof, which makes it all the more important to protect your investments and play backup copies of your games to protect their value. So what I'm going to show you today is how to play backups on your unmodified Gamecube using the SD Media Launcher and a cheap adapter you can purchase on Amazon for just a little over $10. The most important thing you'll need is the SD Media Launcher manufactured by Daytel, or is it Datel? The kit you can buy online from Code Junkies has everything in it, including the boot disk and SD card adapter, which will need to be plugged into memory card slot 2 of your Gamecube. Now, depending on where you buy the Daytel SD Media Launcher, it could be more expensive as some people have started charging more for them, but I ordered mine from the Code Junkies website for 19.99 euros, which is just under $24 US at the time of this video. You'll also need 2 SD cards, one regular size SD card for the software you'll be running from the memory card slot, and another micro SD card for the adapter, which you'll be loading up with your backed up games. The first step is to plug your regular size SD card, which can also be a micro SD card with the proper adapter, into your computer and download the software we'll need. You'll want to Google Swiss and then follow the links to the download section. From there, download the latest version and unzip the folder onto your desktop. From there, drag it onto your SD card. Now, if you happen to have a Gamecube player attached, I highly recommend you go ahead and download another piece of software called the Game Boy Interface. This will allow you to play Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games through your Gamecube without having to use the poor Game Boy Player software. Besides it looking much sharper than the standard Game Boy Player software that comes on the disc, you can customize your experience much more with much less latency. Once you put both of those onto the SD card and memory slot 2, you're all done. Let's move on to step 2. Now we need to put the games onto the other memory card. Whether you backed them up yourself or downloaded them from somewhere else, you'll want to put them in the ISO format right onto the root of the memory card. As you can see here, I backed up my entire collection to one 120 gigabyte memory card. It's really as simple as dragging and dropping, and you're done once they finish copying. Of course, even if you've ripped them yourself or downloaded the games, there may be some compatibility issues and they might not work, which means you'll need to check all of them out individually. Now we're ready to move on to step 3. Place your SD Media Launcher disc into your Gamecube and turn it on. There is one small quirk I should mention while we're here. If you happen to be using a Wavebird, having the Gamecube boot directly into the disc will sometimes cause your controller to be unresponsive. I don't know what causes this, but you'll not be able to select anything. One way I found to get around this is to turn the GameCube on with the lid open and disc inserted, and then close the lid and select the disc to play. This should allow your Wavebird controller to work every time. From here, now you'll see we're at an interface where we can select the software we put onto our SD card earlier. Select Swiss and then go inside the DOL folder. I always select the compressed version, which will now boot our GameCube into another menu where we can select our games. Now here's where things get really cool. Swiss is a very compatible piece of software, and you can do all kinds of things with your backed up GameCube games, like force a specific resolution like 480p, even if it wasn't originally supported in the retail release. Pretty neat. Now there is one limitation to booting games this way, and that is the adapter does not have the read speed as quick as the disk drive. In past versions of Swiss, this meant stuttering in things like cutscenes in games, but the newest iteration of Swiss has practically all but eliminated most of that stuttering. It's still there occasionally, but not nearly as bad as it used to be. If all went well, you should now be able to just press A when you're in this menu and select a game to play. I've tested all of mine and they work just fine, including the multi-disc games, which you have to save at the end of the disc and then continue by rebooting the console and loading into the second disc. Of course, there are other solutions worth mentioning, including the GC Loader, which replaces your disk drive with an optical drive emulator. That's pretty much it to play backups on your GameCube with no mods. I hope this tutorial was easy enough for you to follow and get you up and running for relatively cheap. If this is your first time watching the channel, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Leave a comment if you have questions and I'll try to answer as best as I can. That's it, take care, and I'll be back soon with a new video.